If you picture a barn, there is a good chance it is red. Not blue, not green, not bare wood. Red. But that color was not just a decorating choice, and it was not only tradition, it was a practical farm decision repeated so often that it became an icon. The short answer is that red barns came from a practical mix of weather, chemistry, cost, and habit. Farmers needed big wooden buildings to last, and they needed the solution to be affordable, easy to make, and easy to maintain. Before modern paint was easy to buy, a barn was a huge investment sitting outside in rain, snow, sun, and wind. Untreated wood could weather, crack, darken, and eventually invite rot. A good coating was not decoration, it was insurance. One common protection was linseed oil, made from flaxseed. Brushed onto wood, it helped seal the surface and slow down weather damage. It was not glamorous. But on a farm, useful usually wins. If something preserved boards for less money, it mattered. Plain oil was not the whole story. Old accounts often mention mixing in things like milk, lime, and rust. That may sound strange now, but each ingredient had a job in a homemade coating. Farmers were using materials they already understood and could get. The important part is rust. Rust is iron oxide, and iron oxide gives a deep red-orange color. It may also have helped discourage fungus and moss on damp wood, though not every barn used the same recipe. The exact mixture varied, but the logic was consistent. There was another reason red made sense. Red pigment was cheap. Red ochre is mostly iron and oxygen, and iron is common, so red pigment could be made from materials that were easy to find. On a structure that large, the price of color was not a small detail. That is the fun science twist. The same iron that rusts a nail can color paint, and when you're covering a building as large as a barn, cheap color matters. Red was practical chemistry, not just taste. Later, prepared paints became easier to buy. But red still had momentum. It was familiar, relatively inexpensive, and already looked like the color a proper barn was supposed to be. Once a choice becomes normal, people keep choosing it. The color also worked visually. A red barn stood out against green fields, brown soil, gray weather, and winter snow. It was practical, but it also made the farm look complete. You could spot it from a distance in almost any season. Over time, practicality turned into tradition. The red barn and the white farmhouse became a kind of shorthand for rural America, even after farmers had more colors and materials to choose from. The look carried memory, not just paint. So the honest answer is not one perfect origin story. Red barns survived because red paint was useful, affordable, visible, and eventually beloved. It solved problems, then became a symbol. That is how many traditions are born, quietly, from repeated usefulness. The next time you pass one, you're not just seeing a color, you're seeing farm economics, wood chemistry, and a little bit of history baked into the landscape. A red barn is a tool that accidentally became beautiful.